In the stellar queendom of Rhea, the Sisters of the Host do all they can to protect the hearts and lives of its people. Rhea, spanning most of the known galaxy, is beset by forces within and without who would drag all into oblivion and despair. Aliens of uncertain intent traverse the queendom's borders, all while internal hatred and distrust would tear the people apart, as older, fouler things in the darkness wait to see their plans birth a terrible future. The hosts are the creations of the Dreaming Queen, mystically and genetically endowed super soldiers that give heart and body to protect the Queen and her people. Come and join us for their stories. Greetings, subjects, and welcome back to Rose&Crescent Blood and Sparkles, powered by Fabula Ultima. I'm Isaac, aka your GM, aka your Royal Herald, and these are the players. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm JP. I am 3 otters in a trench coat, and I play Petra.
I'm Ira, and I play Elysia.
Hello, I'm Rin, and I play Chica of the Silent Luminaries.
Alrighty, so last time we just kind of jumped right into it because a monster was attacking, but now that the monster's been dealt with, it's time for a question. And something light to get us going. Does your character feel that humanity is inherently good or inherently evil? We'll start with Petra, because that will probably be interesting.
Petra doesn't think that humanity as a whole is either good, naturally good or naturally evil. She judges people individually. There's some people who are just decent people, and there are some people that she shoots.
Straightforward, but still attempting to see nuance. I can dig it. What about Alyssa?
Alyssa fundamentally does not believe that good to evil is a useful range for judging anything. She thinks generally you have situations where things are ordered, and then you have times when they're in chaos, and generally you want to work towards them being ordered over being chaos.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Pretty much.
And what about Chiako? What's Chiako's view on this fairly heavy, or at the very least, very philosophical concept?
Chiako thinks that humans and aliens and whoever are inherently evil. Because given the opportunity, if there were no consequences, anyone and everyone would most likely choose to do whatever they wanted. There are some people who choose otherwise, and that's wonderful. But it's not particularly common.
Well, that's cheery. Good thing Alyssa can't hear you.
I didn't say to kill them just because they're inherently evil.
And on that happy note,
Previously on Rose&Crescent.
Our heroines found the culprit who attempted to end the life of Min Kyung's companion, and in so doing uncovered a plot coercing a girl to join the host sisters. Between the close call with the ship sabotage, the attempted murder, and the interference with the host recruits, the wrath of the Morning Vigilance Commander was understandable. Still, Alyssa's cooler head prevailed, and everything was set right. With the location of Chiako's sisters now known, the search can continue. The attempted murder has been resolved, very narrowly, possibly leading into an actual death. Luckily that a 1/3 majority won out, and Min Kyung was talked down from killing Gregor. And you learnt that the Silent Luminaries had gone to a region of space called the Bari Cluster. Now, the Bari Cluster is a largely unexplored handful of star systems, so there's going to be a little bit of a range to look over and explore when you get there. Before that, though, is there anything that you 3 want to do on the Byeol Sansin before you head out? While Alona's heart is being restocked and having some maintenance done.
Considering how many threats we've encountered, I mean, not that I don't like threats and encountering them, but it would probably be wise to get a little upgrade.
Would Petra see you doing this?
I don't see why not.
So Petra kind of lives in the armory. She technically has a bunk that is in a quarters that has been assigned to her, but she tends to go stir crazy in there. So she's actually hanging out in the armory and near the workbenches when you come in to do your thing. She looks over at Chiako. What are you doing?
Doing some stuff.
Weapon stuff or gun stuff?
Both stuff.
Can I look?
Yeah. In fact, if you can improve on this one for me, and she's going to push her stun gun over to Petra, I could really use an upgrade to the accuracy.
So yeah, Petra picks it up, looks down sights down the top of the barrel, looks very carefully at the barrel of it. Harold, what do I see?
You see a stun gun, as said, and it's essentially like a mini low-powered arc pistol. It shoots the electricity, but it doesn't shoot a projectile with the electricity. So it's one solid piece rather than the typical barrel loading chamber setup that you're used to.
Okay. So Chiako, you're not getting the kind of accuracy with this one? It's harder to hit or aim, or what's going on with it?
When I want to aim for a particularly critical spot on a target, I would prefer it if it hits that spot.
Yeah. Elisa would probably kill me for doing this. So she goes over and takes the box off the top of the stack, breaks the seal, goes in, pulls out a couple pieces of bits and things. She goes over and starts tinkering. I've always been confused. Why do you have a stun gun? I thought you were into like the whole like stabby kill thing.
Oh, I very much prefer that, yes. But, sometimes you just can't get close enough, and it's nice to have an option to, still your target. And then do the
But she can then
stabby
kill. Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Well, so Petra puts a few minutes in, goes back and breaks the seals on a few more containers. Doesn't really bother to put them back in the same spot. And then you look at it and there's a new point on the end of it. It says, okay, this should focus the energy a little bit closer to the part you want it to arc into. Let me know what you think of it when you get to use it.
I look forward to testing it.
Yeah, I know you do.
If you two want to take this opportunity to adjust your bond ratings with each other, now would be an opportune time to do so.
Will do.
Will do.
Alyssa, while they're doing the loading and fixing, I assume you're going into logistics mode. Admittedly, not that hard. Part of your brain is constantly running on logistics mode, as far as I know.
Seems to be, at least.
And I kind of imagine that this is a welcome reprieve after that very bad day. As you're going about checking things, counting things, you do see the mutant civilians from the cache are having a meeting. See Hildy and Voden there as well.
Lisa will drift on over and see what this is about.
Alright, they haven't really noticed you just yet, but you do overhear them saying, we've been on this ship for a while, they've been running us through drills, are they going to have us fight? What are they going to be doing with us exactly? Another person chimes in. I mean, we've gotten better at handling our bodies now. I mean, we're not breaking things when we pick things up and so forth. And, being on a warship all the time isn't exactly a good long-term strategy. Hildy and Voden seem to be, taking in everything they say, and at one point Hildy says, "Good points, but where would you have us go? We wouldn't exactly be welcome in most colonies or on most worlds." And things kind of go quiet there for a second.
Lisa will verbalize as she hears the sides take on. I will note that we do not have any legal criteria to force you to remain on this ship. So if you are ever interested in finding somewhere else to stay, we are under no legal ability to stop you.
"Thank you, Alyssa," says Hildy. At which point she also says, Could you arrange a meeting between someone from us and the commander of the ship?
Suppose I could arrange such a meeting. I may inquire what would be the nature of such.
Well, I was going to put it to my fellows here, she says, kind of, fully grasping that they're now something resembling a people group or just like a particular subgroup. Well, if most colonies wouldn't have us, a place here on the outskirts wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea for us, and some of us have expressed a desire to have a sky over our heads.
Ah.
I mean, I was born and raised on a cache, so having a sky is a bit of a novelty, I'll admit.
Fair enough. Out of character. Is there a government agency that handles colonies? Like, I assume there's someone you have to fill out paperwork with if you want to create your own colony out there in space somewhere?
There are various bureaucratic branches. Sometimes they talk to each other, sometimes they don't. Typically, if a world's going to be colonized, the primary place that the colonists are coming from usually talk to that planet and that government, and then that government is typically responsible for sending that information along to Neo-Rhea. Now, between travel times, disruptions in communications, and just plain laziness, the archives on Neo-Rhea are not always up to date.
Of course. I suppose if you and your lot are interested in finding your own place to call your own, if you cannot find a community that is welcoming, there are indeed legal channels in which you can acquire a permit of colonization. Claim, if you will.
So you'll arrange the meeting then?
Certainly. Though I warn you, the authority a captain can have on this tactic is relatively minor in the grand scheme of things. You will likely need to find a government that is itself advancing its own colonization project that would benefit from volunteers to aid it in such.
Thank you, she says.
Elisa will head off and file the request for a meeting with the captain on the behalf of our passengers.
So a few days later, Vodin and Hildy, on behalf of the mutants of Akash, have their meeting with Min Kyun. And it's a few days after that you are getting ready to go. The last of everything has been loaded onto the ship, the last bit of maintenance has been done, when Hildy comes up to the three of you and says, "Okay, I know I've said this multiple times before, but can you help me find Yarick? He's hidden himself, he's not in the usual spots, and we can't find him.
You know if he's still on the ship or not?
We have no reason to think he's off the ship, but we can expand things out from there."
Well, if he's off the ship, then he's in space, which is a bigger issue.
No, you're still on the Byeol Sansin.
Ah, good. Which is a
very big ship.
Well, he could be crawling through the vents in a hidey hole. He could be with his friend, that initiate girl. Sure, we could split up.
Hey, Chiako.
Yes.
You know what I think we need? Are you in the mood for ice cream?
I am in the mood for ice cream.
Lisa,
what?
you're good at putting things together. Could you put together a ice cream drive or party social thing?
We're about
That's such a great idea.
we're about to
Please.
leave.
Please, Alyssa. Please. Pretty
I was
please.
thinking instead of going through every single vent in the place trying to find somebody that might be actively trying to hide from us, we just kind of lure them out in the open. And then Chiako gets ice cream.
With fudge and whipped cream and cherries on top.
I feel you are deeply, purposely exaggerating your inability to track and locate a child.
Oh no, I could absolutely track and locate him, no problem, but I want ice cream.
Take a fabulous point for that.
You know, Alyssa, this is an
What?
entirely serious thing here as well. I mean, I was being serious before, but like the crew, the civilians, the station people. We've seen some stuff in the last couple of weeks, and luring a kid out would be a good excuse for us to kind of just blow off some steam, don't you think?
I still think this is ultimately I still think this is ultimately a frivolous endeavor, but I do not think the cost of stretching out this argument is worth what will be saved. So I will organize this ice cream social.
Things you did not expect to do when you joined the Daughters of Harmony.
I knew you'd be on board.
Don't even like ice cream.
Blasphemy!
Sacrilege.
Gasp.
Blasphemy! I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Gelato is so much better.
Well, then make it a gelato social.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a point. It is kind of better.
Regardless, I have suddenly new responsibilities hoisted on me this evening, so I will be off to fill out some paperwork and procurement requests.
It's a short conversation with the quartermaster of the Byeol Sansin. Unlike you, she's not quite about the whole thing, but she is just kind of like, was not expecting this, but we can supply you with some ice cream. I hear your civilian friends are going to be leaving the ship, so I guess they want something, or it'd be nice to give them something, I suppose.
Indeed. So obviously we're going to need tables set out in the hangar. The ship's mess hall is not designed to host the entire crew of the ship at the same time.
Well, luckily we have both space and tables. Alright, I can get that to you in an hour.
Alright.
Chiako,
Huh?
I think Elisa is grateful for having more paperwork to do, regardless of how much she enjoys the ice cream.
She does kind of look sadly when she's not doing paperwork stuff, yeah. Yako, in the meantime, is partially covered in glitter, and she's got like her hands bedazzled as she's trying to like make these paper invitations that she's gonna just start like running around and chucking at people.
Ow, my eye! Why?
Ice cream social!
So, the stuff has gotten to you in an hour. An hour after that, you've got everything set up, and the social is happening. It's awkward and kind of quiet at first, but I assume Chiako is going to do everything she can to stir people up.
Yes. Elisa, how mad would you be if I started a food fight?
You will not start a food fight.
That's not answering my question.
The answer is irrelevant, because you will not start a food fight.
Well, how do you know that? You can't see the future. She's like lifting this bowl of ice cream that she already has. Long staring. And then she puts it down and prances off.
Alright, so at one point, one of you is going to have to go back and refresh some supplies over the course of this social. People start loosening up and they're having some fun, so you need to go get some more spoons and so forth. I'm going to roll a 1d6 to see who goes back to get the supplies. 1 to 2 is Chiako, 3 and 4 is Alyssa, and 5 and 6 is Petra. Alright, Alyssa, in an attempt to get away from Chiako, especially after the whole threatening to start a food fight incident, you head back onto Alona's heart to get some additional spoons and bowls and some napkins and stuff to help keep things tidy. This is a party, but dang it, you are going to be civil about it. When you open one of the cabinets, and inside you see Yarick munching on some ice cream. Sadly.
Yarick,
Hey.
I do not recall you being part of the mess crew.
No.
Then may I ask why you are in the kitchen?
The cabinets are comfortable and they're a good place to hide, he says.
I see.
He eats some ice cream, but judging by the look of him, he doesn't really seem to be tasting it.
Yark, why are you hiding in a closet, attempting to eat an entire tub of ice cream?
Well, it turns out I like ice cream, and I thought it would make me feel better, he says, poking at the ice cream with a spoon. Doesn't seem to be working, though.
Ice cream making you feel better implies you do not feel well at all.
No.
May I inquire why you are upset?
Well, you always told me to not leave the ship and not go through the hidey places. And I didn't, I didn't listen, or I didn't listen enough. And now we have to leave. I mean, if I'm really good, can we stay? I promise I'll be really good.
Lisa is going to let out a long, exasperated sigh. How big is this closet?
It's sized for humans, so... and he's about 7 years old. So let's say it's like a standard kitchen size.
Alright. So yeah, Lisa's going to let out a very exasperated sigh, and then she is going to get into the closet and sit down near Yark.
It's a bit of a tight fit for you, but Yark kind of adjusts himself and sits on your leg.
Yark, this is a military vessel. It is not an appropriate place for a child such as you.
But the bigger ship has all the girls.
I'm not going to investigate what that means. What I am going to say is, simply put, the reason I am constantly lecturing you and instructing you against you being let to have fun is this ship and these spaces are dangerous. They are not designed to be a place for children to free roam and play. You deserve to be in a place that is.
Roll me an insight and willpower check.
Insight and willpower. Any modifier.
I'll give you a +1.
Whoop.
Alright, a 9 is enough. He looks like he's going to start crying for a second, but you just kind of gently stare him down. And he's just like, okay, I guess I'll get out of the closet. He takes another bite of ice cream. And he just kind of wiggles off your knee and gets out of the closet. Do you walk him to the ice cream social?
Elisa will escort him to the social.
So, much like he does with Chiako or Petra, he just kind of like climbs onto your back.
There are many reasons this is unsafe and unacceptable behavior. But we will be separating before I have time to finish the paperwork, so I will tolerate this.
Aww. Take a fabula point for that.
That is the sweetest thing Elisa has ever said.
Let's get you back to your mother.
So you take him to the ice cream social. Hildy and Vodin are there. They go up to him, talk to him. He's still sad, but, it's one of those you kind of have to write it out sort of things. But the air of the social picks up in regards to energy and general positivity after that. And so the next day, Alona's heart departs, leaving the mutants of Akash behind. Although, is there anything Petra or Chiako wants to do before the departure?
Well, assuming she's already finished upgrading her inventory prior to the ice cream social, I would say that Chiako probably wants to make sure that he says goodbye to Minnie, at least.
Minnie is there to see. Min Kyung is there to see you off. She is more composed than previously. She's not her chipper self, but she does give you a hug goodbye and says, "Good luck on the hunt for your sisters. I hope they're okay."
I do too. I hope your friend is okay too.
He'll recover.
Will you?
I've made it 200 years. So far, I think I can make it another 200.
Well, at least you're not a grandma yet, you know?
She can't help but chuckle a little bit at that, slaps you on the back, and just says, "Alright, get going, before there's no Leviathan left for you."
That would be horrible. Bye, Minnie. She runs off.
So Petra goes up to Yarrick, kneels in front of him on one knee, and says, "Hey, kiddo,
Hey.
you're going to be living a bit of a hard life coming up here soon. Just, you know that, right?"
That's what Mom and Dad said, yeah. But I figured if I followed that routine that Danu gave me, I could be strong and survive it.
You can. Just remember, don't rely on this. She taps his hands. Rely on this. This is your... She taps his forehead. This is where the fight is won. Okay? Make sure you think everything through. Make sure you know your enemy.
And then headbutt them?
I'm an enemy. I was going to say shoot him in the head, but yeah, I mean, that works too.
Right, he says.
As Jack goes running by, he's gonna like almost clothesline Yark, but like scoop him up and then like throw him in the air, catch him, spin around. Bye-bye.
He laughs with his usual vibrancy at that. So that is a good note to leave him on. And so the ship departs. He waves at you, Hildy is waving, and Petra gets a head nod from her drill sergeant counterpart amongst the morning vigilance as you leave.
Cool.
So you depart the Byeol Sansin, and you leave the Tartarus Gate behind, and Arito takes you into the Dreaming, heading towards the Bari cluster. So you're in the Dreaming, you're heading your way towards the Bari cluster, when another important question presents itself. Hopefully Alyssa had been thinking about it while preparations were being made. But Hara was remanded into your custody, and her ship was loaded onto yours. What are you going to do with her?
I don't know. I'm frankly amazed you got away without being charged for trespassing, breaking, entering, and sabotage.
You kind of get the feeling that Minkyung was taking this opportunity to make her your problem, considering all the other problems she was going with at the
100%
time.
what was happened.
It's good to be queen.
Mm-hmm. What's her skill set?
I have not statted her out, but she's a capable fighter, at least when her leg's not being blown off. Clearly she has some technical skills, and very clearly she has some good infiltration abilities.
Well, if her goal is to learn more about the galaxy and help her people learn more, I guess we could just make her a cultural ambassador on the ship.
Interesting. Now, there's no legal precedent for this in regards to dealing with an alien species. However, there is precedent for having someone from one planet be the ambassador for another planet, or being a liaison to the military. So you could fill out the paperwork, put her planet down as Braquin, and just ignore the fact that she's an alien on the form.
Conveniently, there is no part of the form that says, what is their biological species? Because that is not relevant to the legal process we are invoking.
Indeed.
Nice.
Just make her a liaison from the government to our ship and call it a day.
Luckily, that kind of paperwork you probably fill out in your sleep. So
boy.
That's relatively quick. And you enter it into the ship's logs. Some individuals on the ship seem to be a bit uncomfortable with her, but if they have any opinion differing from yours, they do keep it to themselves. Hara, on the other hand, is just like, well, traveling with you was not what I expected, but there we go, and, well, if you'll need me, I'll be working on my ship.
Probably for the best.
I'm just glad I won't have to sneak around anymore. That was getting kind of annoying. It was really slowing the process down.
I can imagine. If you run into future issues, please bring them to my attention, instead of resolving them yourself via campaign of sabotage.
You make it sound like I was intentionally trying to destroy the ship.
No, you were just intentionally sabotaging it so they wouldn't notice you were there.
I guess if you want to be technical about it, yes.
Technical is also known as the truth.
Alyssa, one of the things I like about you, says Hara, is that while you may be a touch inflexible at times, you are very straightforward, and I like that.
Noted, I guess.
At which point she reaches up, puts her hand on your shoulder, and then heads off to the hangar to work on her ship. Also, you're a bit saner than the other two, so that's also a plus.
That is not difficult.
Alright, so you are traveling through the dreaming. The Bari cluster is, as the dream goes, fairly close. I am going to need a couple travel checks. Who would like to make that roll?
Yes, I can.
Alright, you're rolling for a Rito. So in that case, if you could do a D10 and D8 roll, please.
I'm 9.
Charting your path to the Bari cluster turns out to be a touch easy. You arrive at the outskirts, for want of a better term, of the cluster, and you find what appears to be a fallback beacon. Now, a fallback beacon is essentially if a ship or a group of ships were to go exploring through an unknown reach of space, or we're going to be doing some kind of jobs or missions in a particular region of space, in the event of getting lost or damaged, something bad happening, this is their fallback point, and the beacon acts as a homing signal. Luckily, however, the beacon would also have some flight data that you can use to get started on trying to figure out where they went. If one of you could give me an insight and insight check, please.
Open or close?
Open.
You mind me, you don't mind me taking this?
Please. Please.
12.
A 12. Very good. You access the beacon's data. That's easy enough. And you can use that to try to start calculating possible trajectories of the Silent Luminaries ships. You also notice some other things, however. In addition to the possible trajectories, you notice two other signals coming from within the Bari cluster. One seems to be a power signal of some sort that is pulsing. Kind of a... And as you observe it, you notice that it, though very slowly, is picking up in intensity. And the second thing you notice is a distress signal coming from a different direction to within the cluster.
Where am I deducing this information? On the ship?
On the bridge, going over the data.
On the bridge? Is Chiako on the bridge?
I'm going to assume all three of you are on the bridge at the moment.
Chiako?
Yes.
Could you come over here and look at something for me?
What are you looking at?
I was able to find the address, if you will, left behind your sisters. But while scanning that, I not only picked up a distress signal, I also picked up an odd pattern I don't fully recognize. You are more experienced with signal intelligence, right? What do you make of this?
What do I make of it, oh great herald?
You also roll me an insight and insight check, and I'll give you a +1 bonus in this instance.
Is this an open or not?
I'll say open.
Huh.
15.
And a critical
Ooh,
success.
and doubles.
Fun times. So you're looking at the energy signature, and you're looking at the distress signal. The energy signature you do not recognize, but you do see the slowly increasing increase in speed. As for the distress signal, you do notice that it's not a silent luminary distress signal. And you have your opportunity. How would you like to spend it?
The information opportunity is the only one that really makes sense.
You're going over the signal information, and so technology is not even over the Queendom. It used to be, but it fell off over the years. So you notice that this particular signal has not been used in a while, like 80 years.
Well, that's strange.
But you do manage to figure out, doing some quick math about signal traveling distances and so forth, that it's an old signal, but it seems to have been activated relatively recently.
I'm going to relay this information to Elisa.
And the energy signature is getting faster.
Slowly but surely.
Do we know where that one's coming from?
You can trace it back to a planet, yes.
Well, regardless of its odd nature, a distress signal is a distress signal. We should investigate.
One-sided? Let's see what it is.
At which point, Captain Aofred says to Orito, head towards the distress signal.
Also, Captain, I don't trust this energy signature. I advise putting some direct observers on that planet to make sure they don't hit us with something unexpected.
A good point, sister. I'll send out a few probes. We'll see if we can get some more detailed telemetry. So, Orito presses some buttons, some probes are launched, and you head towards the distress signal. It's about 3 days to get to the distress signal. And when you arrive, you see a lush but uninhabited, at least judging by the initial scans, jungle world. And the signal is coming from a valley on the northern continent. How do you wish to proceed from here?
I vote for an orbital drop. There's something down there we don't want to, just come floating out of the sky, making ourselves a target.
I also vote we do another orbital drop.
Petra, you're voting for an orbital drop because you're paranoid. And Chiako, you are voting for an orbital drop because you are reckless.
You can't prove anything.
I don't need to prove what is evidently true.
At which point Jax, who is nearby, says, also, we have plenty of footage of you being reckless, so we kind of have proof already.
No. That's not being reckless, it's being efficient.
Regardless, this is a direct distress signal. I assume there is a proper protocol for handling a distress signal?
Typically, you would send a shuttle down. However, the terrain around where the signal is coming from does look difficult, and so landing a shuttle directly at where the signal is would not be advisable. You could land the shuttle a little ways away and go in on foot, if you so desired.
I'm just saying a distress signal implies the presence of a threat. I don't think that's paranoid.
For all we know, a ship dropped out of the Dreaming in the wrong place, did not have the supplies, and had to crash land.
And I would say that you don't want to go do an orbital drop because you're afraid of heights.
I don't want to do an orbital drop because if we do an orbital drop, we don't have an ability to be extracted if we can't land the shuttle to pick us up. Whatever we find down there, we will have to deal with without
Get off
support.
this ship. We can do that. We've done it before. I really want to get off this ship.
As fun as I want it to be, at least that makes sense.
Oh man, not you.
Captain, other than the distress signal,
Sorry.
Captain, other than the distress signal, is there any communications emanating from the planet?
None at all, ma'am.
Let's broadcast and see if someone responds.
You send out a return signal, and no one responds.
Study the terrain. How close can we get a shuttle to it? To where the signal is generating from?
As the bird flies, it would be a 5-mile hike, but the terrain is very thick, so even with your enhanced physiologies, it's going to be a bit of a trek.
If there are enemies down there, they might know the terrain better than us. We could be fighting our entire way over there.
If we drop in, we'll be fighting our entire way out.
I'm gonna go do gear things over there. You guys let me know when you decide how we go in. And she heads off to the armory.
I'm good to go if you are, says Jax.
Well, are we ready?
I suppose half the time spent in a bad situation is better than twice the time. Do an orbital drop. Hopefully we won't hit anything important on the way down.
Oh, this is great.
Thank you! You hear from the part of the ship that she disappeared towards.
I even sided with you this time. You didn't have to do that.
Orbital dictates we have to confirm the signal. There is no one at the signal before we can simply abandon it.
Also, JP, take a fabula point.
Thank you.
In quick order, you get your ablative orbital drop armor on over your regular armor. And with Jax manning the hangar bay door and Arito piloting, you jump out of Alona's heart. And you begin your descent. So, much like the last time, I'm going to need a dexterity and insight roll. 2 of you are going to be supporting the leading person. I assume Petra's going to be doing the lead.
That's a solid bet, yeah.
All right. In that case, could I get the support rolls from you, Chiako and Alyssa?
Sure.
Of course.
7.
No support from Alyssa.
Fabula point here would help us get XP and help us make that drop.
Yeah, I'm looking at my traits.
15. Wait, was this open or closed?
This was closed.
Okay.
Also, it's
15 is awesome.
insight plus insight is the one you get to add the bonus to.
Oh, darn. I mean, they're the same. D10 and D10 for me.
The same dice, but it's not. It's not. You get to add a bonus to D10 plus D10 rolls.
It's true. Yeah. My bad.
Would angry perfectionist apply here, Alyssa?
It might, though I am starting to worry this might apply to too many things, but regardless.
Well, when you have a hammer.
When you have a hammer, that's a little better.
All right, a 12. That'll do it. Okay. So, Petra, same roll, but you get a +2 bonus from the aid of your sisters.
A 16.
All right, you're descending. Petra leads everyone into formation.
Petra starts chanting their battle cry. When they land, she finishes, "We live for the queen, we die for the queen."
And as you say that, the last pieces of the drop armor break off, and you land, thud, thick in the jungle. The dust rising around you, and it's slowly descending, and you are on the planet.
Is the air breathable?
It is.
Chiako's gonna retract her moment and take a deep breath of air.
You
A
smell.
place like this makes you feel like an animal.
You smell the air. You smell the dust. Roll me inside an insight check.
Alright, for realsies this time, open or closed?
For realsies, open.
I'm getting 15s a lot today.
Aren't you lucky?
This really makes up for the last time.
You notice 2 things that stand out. The first of which is in the air itself. There's an odd fungal smell in the air. Like when you've walked into a room with mold, or you're smelling something in the fridge that's been in there too long. It's not strong, but it's noticeable. Secondly, this is a jungle planet, largely green, but you do notice a lot of the plants have a blue, maybe sometimes a blue tint, or faint blue splotches.
But I know what causes something like that.
You're not a botanist by trade, but there are many alien worlds and all kinds of biomes. By and large, due to the nature of, observable science, a lot of them do follow similar rules to each other. But at this point, it could be anything. Though it does seem odd that so many of the plants have a similar blue shade to them.
I want to contact our new-ish friend, Hara.
You get her online. You hear the sound of tools going at something, and she says, "This is me. Hello."
Hello. What does it mean when plants are turning blue?
Well, blue is a shade that pops up in my people from time to time, so that seems kind of normal to me. Are these plants not supposed to be blue?
I don't know. But everything smells very fungal and moldy and like a rot.
It could be some kind of infection.
I'll keep that in mind.
Maybe we should keep our helmets on?
That's what I would suggest, says Hara.
You're probably right. I'll get rid of it. And she does.
Then your helmet extends and seals back up.
Some of the mushroom smell is still inside. Chiako is probably gonna, take samples here and there. At the very least for Danu later.
So you took some samples for Danu. You have a destination to head towards. Do you begin heading towards there?
Of course.
Go.
All right. And you head out. I'm going to need 3 travel checks from you. These are going to be Might and Insight. And much like the orbital drop, this is going to be a one person leads and the other 2 assist. Who wants to be leading?
Isn't this kind of a Chiako thing?
Chiako should lead this one.
What's your might?
Oh, never mind. Curses.
Unfortunately, it's
Technically,
Might because the vegetation here is thick and clinging.
I'm rolling a
I'll be
D8 and a
all of-
D10.
I'm rolling 2d8.
I think Elisa has the higher ceiling here.
Looks like.
It's like.
Alyssa takes point. Will the other 2 please roll to assist?
Does an 8 do it?
8 will not be enough, and neither will be a 6.
Well, I'm gonna use one of my handy dandy fabula points then.
As am I.
11? Is that better?
11 does succeed in this instance, as does the 15 that Petra got.
Perfect.
So now we just need Alyssa, but you get a +2 bonus.
Let's do it. That's a 15.
A 15 is a success. As you are trekking, as I mentioned before, the vegetation is thick and clinging. All of you have this strange feeling of being watched. You don't know where it's coming from. It's just kind of there. And you also notice that everything is silent. At first, you could have chalked that up to your very dramatic landing. But as you're cutting through, you don't hear birds, you don't hear insects, it's just...
Either everything here is hiding, or at least in this area is dead.
You did drop near the signal, but there's still a bit of a trek to do.
Okay.
I hope we haven't dropped into a giant mushroom colony that wants to eat us. That'd be bad.
A weirdly specific concern.
I mean, fungal plants and creatures in general tend to, feed by infection, eating you from the inside.
If there's one good thing to this silence, it allows you to hear something up ahead. It is the sound of movement and vegetation being broken.
Is sound moving towards us?
You think it might be, yes.
What's our move?
Our move is caution.
Still pressing forward, or are we hiding and waiting?
I say we wait here and let the whatever it is come to us.
I think that means it's a good time for Chiako to cast an illusion.
Are you going to do a ritual and do an illusion?
Yes.
Alright.
What would be the best way to do this? Make it as if we are not where we currently are? Or make us blend in to our surroundings?
Your magic works a particular way. You should probably think of how exactly your magic is doing this.
Correct. Your magic is entropism, which is we get to decay of physical matter, twist the flow of time, teleport creatures or items. If you wish to cover yourself in the image of this place 5 minutes ago, you can do that.
Yeah, that's what I was considering going for. The last time I used a ritual, it was of a wall to block an area. So, yeah. Let's make it look like we weren't here.
So a ritual like that is going to be a medium potency ritual, which will cover a small area. So that is going to be a entropism check, which is insight and willpower. Difficulty 10. And it is going to cost you 16 mind points.
We do have gear points. And you can use to replenish your
MP.
Can I replenish as I'm using it, is the thing.
How many mind points do you have?
57.
To reduce the cost of ritual, I'll allow you to sacrifice some of your inventory points as materials for the ritual. How many
I'll
inventory
agree to
points do you
that.
have?
I have 6.
I'll allow you to spend 3 inventory points to sacrifice 1 elixir to reduce the cost.
You said the roll was willpower and insight?
Yes.
Not good enough.
And you got an 8,
Wanna
which is
roll-
not enough.
Yes. May I re-roll that d10?
Going to use your lucky dice, or...
Lucky 7?
yes. Going to use your lucky 7, I'll allow that.
That would turn it into an 11 then.
And an 11 is a success. You open a port on your armor, just let the fluid of the elixir that you use to simulate your mind fan out above you. It glimmers as you speak the words really quickly. Time, from an outside perspective, seems to go in reverse, though it is just an illusion, and all of you are now covered up. And just in time, because as you do, a large hunting lizard, reminiscent of a T-Rex, comes tromping through the brush. And it seems to be looking for something. However, with you cloaked in the illusion as you are, it is not finding you, but it is definitely searching. And much like some of the plants, it also has these blue splotches on it. Petra, could you please roll me an insight and insight with a +2 bonus, please?
a 12.
Your pulse quickens, your fingers grip around Clarabella, because even though it's on an animal, these kind of splotches, when I say splotches, it's, at least when it's on like a creature, it's fairly reminiscent of like an oddly colored birthmark. And it brings to mind terrible memories of something that happened when you were a young sister.
No, not this. She starts saying.
And in your
Petra?
mind, you're kind of going, that's not possible. It shouldn't be able to affect animals.
Yeah, Petra starts visibly shaking, and like her aim and her cool is quite obviously gone.
Chiako's going to very slowly reach over and grip Petra's arm. Just a bit of a squeeze, bring her back to reality.
Petra jumps like she's been shocked with an electric arc.
Petra?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
How far is the hunting lizard?
The sound of it is getting more distant.
I'd suggest waiting a bit longer.
You wait, and eventually you hear nothing, and the silence of this place returns. Do you take a moment, or do you continue on?
Oh, we're taking a moment. Petra, what was that?
It's nothing, I'm cool. Let's go.
So Petra charges forward.
I wouldn't say charges forward, but she sets off rather determinedly, seeming to like... She looks like as she takes very deliberate, heavy steps, she's trying to like trample on some kind of memory.
Luckily the silence is there to help you keep you caged in with your memory, so, it'll keep coming back to you.
Yay.
Still, I'm going to need another travel check from you, but since you're the one in the lead, I'm going to need might and insight from you, Petra.
Okie dokie. And I'm assuming that I'm getting some aid from the other two sisters.
It is a combined check.
Yes. 11 from Alyssa and a 10 from Chiako. So that's going to equal out to a +1 for you, Petra, because you have a -1 due to your emotional turmoil. So that's going to be might and insight +1 for you.
Look, that's a sucky 4.
That is a 4. Do you intend to keep the 4?
Not when I'm sitting on 13 fabula points.
Then have at it.
I'm sorry, what?
What, you
Yeah,
are?
like,
I'm sitting on 5.
Oh,
yeah, wow. Yeah, I just don't often have a chance to spend them. No distractions, only war.
An 8 is still a failure, just not as much of a failure.
Grumpy drill instructor,
Alright. Swing.
and 11.
Alright. You're trudging forward, trying to outrace the memories, when, amongst other things, you do notice something. You are cutting through the jungle, and you expect a trail to be behind you. Unfortunately, there is no trail behind you.
Well, this kind of sucks, Petra says.
What kind of sucks?
Check out the trail behind us.
So looks back for a bit. Turns back to Petra. Petra, when I said dropping into a zone without potential shuttle support could lead to a problem when it comes to the needs of extraction, I feel this is an excellent textbook example of the hypothetical problem that I was alluding to.
yeah, Petra. It's what she alluded to.
Just like, so you guys,
Are all of
right. And then just keeps walking.
the spots where Chiako has cut for her samples, are those gone as well?
No, you still have the samples.
Well, she has the samples, but the places that she cut the samples from.
Yes, those are gone. Those are healed over.
Fascinating.
You march on towards your destination, because clearly there's no way back without doing it the hard way. And Petra, you are keeping an ear out, even in the silence, trying to keep your mind off things. And you swear for an instant you hear your name, but not like as if spoken by another person, but almost like birds or maybe the creaking of wood making sounds that approximate your name.
What do you want? She says out loud.
You to maintain a more sustainable marching speed?
Wait. No, not you. The birds.
And as she says
There
that,
are no birds, Petra.
well, actually, as she says that, a previously unmoving, hidden amongst the branches flock of birds in a tree not too far away jets off into the sky.
Oh. Oh no. We're in trouble.
Just figuring that out.
You know, it's very different when silence is referring to the absence or death of creatures, which is very typical, by the way. But when the creatures are still there and are completely silent, oh, we're gonna have some fun.
Everything's a game to you. And then she just keeps walking.
Lisa, I think she's mad at me.
Perhaps. At least you're not a river in Egypt.
Oh, I get it. Huh.
So,
Chiaka's gonna unsheath her weapons.
a sensible course of action. Luckily, at this point, you are almost to the signal. As you get closer, tendrils of fungus lace themselves along the ground and through some of the underbrush. The signal is coming from within a shallow but present cave. Looking around, you know what made this cave. It seems a ship crashed here some time ago, and it's now embedded into the rock.
Can we draw any deductions from the ship that we are seeing?
Roll me inside, an open check.
11.
Looking at it, a lot of the structure of the ship is not intact, but together enough to get a view of what model ship it was. And it's a clipper, so technically a full ship, but not much larger than a shuttle.
Does it look like a private ship, like a pleasure yacht of some sort? Or does it appear to be more industrial?
It looks like it might have been industrial at one point.
So something probably intended for commercial use?
That seems about accurate. You head inside, and the fungal growth is just all over the place, going along the ground and piercing deep into the ground. And you go to the back, and you see a couple of things. What appears to be a computer console that somehow still has power. And a number of the tendrils have grown up to and through the console. And additionally, not too far away from that, you see human remains. Mostly just the skeleton at this point, semi-embedded in the ground, as if, someone died there, and then just like years of silt and dirt buildup have covered part of it. It hasn't been completely buried, probably due to the protections of this unnatural cave that formed when the ship crashed. Do you take a look? Or rather,
Petra points Clarabella at it. Elisa, do you want to do the honors?
while she looks at the body, do you want to look at the computer console?
I'm on Overwatch.
Elisa's going to look down at the gun for a bit, then look up at Petra. It's a skeleton. Then she's going to continue onwards to examine the remains.
You're looking at the remains. No clothing remains. You can see where the flesh would have been, and looking at the growths of the fungus, it looks like some of the fungus grew into the dead body, as funguses want to do when it detects a nutrient source. And then from there, it just kind of
Devoured it.
And then exploded and blossomed away from it.
How common is biodegradable clothing in the future of the queendom?
Not uncommon. I mean, some worlds have clothing made out of synthetic fibers, some have more natural fibers. Let's see, this ship seems to have come from an industrial sector, so the clothing would have broken down, it wouldn't necessarily have biodegraded.
Just checking to make sure there's not something deductible we can pull from that. Like the average person wears a shirt that no amount of that will survive the acid storm. I don't know.
So yes.
10,000 washings. Who knows? Is there anything identifying on them? Like, assuming they're not military, they probably don't have dog tags, but anything?
Roll me an insight check.
Open or closed?
Open.
Boop, boop.
That's an 11.
That's an 11.
You don't get a lot, but you do know that judging by the skeleton, you think that whoever this was might have been a worker in whatever industrial capacity that they were in.
Is this the only remain, or are there multiple remains in this area?
The only remain.
The ship, despite being on the rather small side of things as a clipper, that type of ship would definitely operate with more than one person as crew.
Typically. So the fact that it only had the one person is unusual. Does anyone take a look at the computer?
Tiako will, but before he does, he's going to pass by Petra again and grab her on the arm. Petra?
Why do you insist on touching me, sister?
You're healthy. You're alive. You're in control. You are going to leave healthy. You're going to stay alive. You're not going to lose control.
Yeah, you're right. God, I just wish they would stop saying my name.
You're the only one who hears your name.
Yeah, Harold, we have not been
Knock it out.
hearing Petra's name, right?
I was going to ask you to roll, but you guys kind of moved away from bringing that up. However, roll me an insight and insight. Closed. Bit of a backtracking.
Both of us?
Both of you.
17.
17 and 16. Very impressive. You know, you weren't thinking about it at first, but it definitely sounds like it could have said Petra.
It could just be the creature's natural call. It's not likely that it's specifying you. Just a coincidence. Okay?
It's just a coincidence the planet is actually calling my name.
Perhaps we can break this down later. But for now, repeat what I told you. Okay?
Fine, whatever. Get to work.
And now she goes to the console.
So it's amazing this thing still has power. Apparently it had its own independent power source as part of it. And you notice that trails of the fungus have grown onto the computer, and in their growth path have pressed buttons which you think might have triggered the signal. However, roll me another insight and insight check.
A 15.
Getting a lot of 15s tonight,
I know, it's weird.
but it works for you, I suppose.
Doesn't want me to use my fabula points today.
So you notice some information. 1, yes, the signal started recently, which suggests the growth moved towards that path and grew rather quickly in doing so. Additionally, you get some information out of the computer's logs. The ship is originally from a planet called Galerond, and if the ship's logs are still correct, it left the planet and entered the Dreaming, and then exited the Dreaming about 80 years ago.
And how far away would this planet be?
Far outside the Kypernian reach.
So that means it would take how long to get there?
With good travel in the Dreaming, one side of the galaxy to the other can take about 2 years.
What about any crew manifests? Any other logs that I can find?
There's no cargo manifest. Normally when a ship leaves, it makes note of when it left, its intended destination, and that sort of thing. There's none of that here. There's just an automatically ticked log of left Galeron on this date 80 years ago.
At this point, are you saying anything about this, Chiako?
Yeah. She's gonna look at you guys confused. There really isn't anything here.
So,
Left the planet 80 years ago, and that's it.
What planet?
Galeron?
A look of sorrow, pain, anger, rage, just all goes across Petra's face, and it's just locked back behind her mask.
And Petra, for a moment, you are back on Galeron, and you are back there seeing her fall to the ground.
So, I had to look this up because this ability has not come into play yet. So I had to remind myself how this worked. I got Flash of Insight. When you roll a 13 or higher on a check performed to investigate a creature, item, or location, that includes using the study action during conflict, you may ask the Game Master up to skill level questions concerning the subject of your investigation. I have 1 skill level. You may ask these questions immediately or save them for later. Whenever you ask one of these questions, the Game Master will answer truthfully and you will describe your character's deductive process.
All right, ask your questions.
Did the moss consciously activate the distress signal?
The fungus consciously activated the distress signal.
Cool.
I love how you're sounding a little freaked out by that. I love it.
That's not great.
It wants more food to come.
So Petra is on the
Wants
ground?
me to come.
What?
You wanted me to come.
Petra.
She's going to go over and look at the body. Is there any
Petra?
jewelry or anything like that?
No, but after the mission, you do recall hearing from another officer that one of the infected had managed to escape.
Petra.
80 years ago, there was a mission, and one of my sisters was infected by this very thing, and I, well, I'm the reason that she died. It was a mercy I took myself. But she's gone and I'm still here.
Would she be gone anyways if you had no hand in it?
Well, we need to get out of here. This place is dangerous.
Petra would remember the name of what infected her. Not like I think she could forget. It's called Nicasius syndrome, or as is also commonly referred to as the Mind Taker Plague.
This is the mind. Oh, God, Chiaka. You breathed it in. It's referred to as the Mind Taker Plague. We really, really, really have to get out of here.
You're telling me that we are on a planet covered in what appears to be a sapient fungus?
Isn't that what I said, Elisa?
So, Alyssa, please roll me an insight check.
Open or
Chiako, you
closed?
as well. And much like the other ones this session, it is in fact open.
16.
All right. Rin?
19.
Oh, very impressive, the both of you. You have not personally encountered this, but you've heard of it. Nicasius syndrome, as Petra said, the Mind Taker Plague, is a disease that, if it doesn't kill you with its fevers and tremors and organ failure, you end up losing your mind if you do survive. And when I say lose your mind, you don't go crazy, but your previous personality is gone, seemingly like a new person. What's more, this plague is known to jump species, but it's not known to infect creatures below a certain intelligence level. And typically, host sisters are immune to disease, just can't get a purchase in their systems. Nicasius syndrome is capable of infecting a sister. It doesn't happen very often, or at the very least not in any known records, but you do recall hearing an incident on Galeron where a Nicasius syndrome outbreak occurred, and you do recall that the stalwart Rose sisters were very shaken by the experience afterwards. You did not know that Petra was one of these sisters. And one more bit of information, judging by everything you've seen and the fact that you guys got 2 very high rolls, everything points to the disease having infected the local mycelial network on this planet.
It appears there was a native sapient fungus on this planet, and the Mind Taker Plague managed to infect it and used it as a vector for infecting life forms that normally the plague cannot infect.
Had to adapt so it could eat.
What's the ship's name again?
Alona's
Alona's
Heart.
heart.
Alona's Heart, this is ground team.
This is Captain Eofred.
Declaring a quarantine. We got Mind Taker Plague down here.
And for the first time ever, you hear Captain Eofred swear. There are local inhabitants with the plague?
Kind of.
Yeah, you could say that.
A very particularly complex situation has naturally evolved on the planet. We have reason to believe potentially the entire planet's surface is infected.
Chiako, amongst the Silent Luminaries, this is the kind of situation where your host would be called in to purge the place.
Yes. First, she's going to destroy what's left of keeping the ship alive. The network will not reactivate another signal.
How do you go about doing that? Play into it physically, or are you going to borrow Petra's big gun?
He's going to systematically start cutting wires, burning things, erasing procedures. She's going to detach the power source as well.
And after you detach the power source, the ground starts shaking. Tendrils of fungus start undulating. It seems it's trying to close up the cave you're in.
Petra is going to pull out one of her demolition charges, arm a timer, toss it on the nearest vulnerable looking thing, and then run like hell. Come on, come on!
Roll me dexterity and insight, please.
Everyone?
Just Petra.
A 14.
You manage to land a few charges in vulnerable spots. One goes off quickly, opening a path for you. You rush through, and as you do, the other two explode behind you, burning things and closing up the mouth of the shallow cave. You get out, and, well, frankly, the damage that you have is all emotional, not physical, but you do all manage to get out of there. Unfortunately, you're on a hostile planet, and you spend the next little while shooting and burning and cutting your way to a spot where a shuttle can not fully land, but hover close enough that you guys can climb your way out. It is a long and tiring experience. The plants and the animals keep coming, but when the shuttle arrives, you leap up to safety and are immediately put into decontamination and quarantine.
As we sit there going through the thing, you guys see something that you probably never thought you'd see, and you actually see tears coming down Petra's face.
Lisa's gonna
Petra.
sit there awkwardly watching this.
As Chiako says your name, you do not hear her voice. You hear the voice of Siobhan, the sister who had contracted Nicasia syndrome.
What do you want, Siobhan?
Chiako tilts her head. For a moment, not quite understanding. But then, with a bit of realization, I want to know what's going on in your head.
And Petra just doesn't say anything.
Talk to me, Petra.
I mean, what do you want me to say? I shot my best friend. Did the one thing that I crossed that one line that we're never ever supposed to cross. And I did it with my best friend. Like, what would you have me say?
It doesn't feel like you did the right thing, I'm sure. But would you really want them to go out becoming something else? Or as she was?
Jocko, it did feel like the right thing to do. And what bothers me is it still does, and I would do it again. You know what that feels like?
Yes, I do.
And on that bit of emotional damage is where we'll call it for today. Thank you all for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed that little bit of emotional wrangling. You know, after all that, you know, saying the whole please like and subscribe helps the queendom grow thing kind of feels just kind of like eh. So I'll just say we hope you enjoyed and that you'll come back next time. And fare thee well, subjects.
Bye.
You still said it.
But I feel kind of bad about it.
You have to return to see if Chiako's the next to die.
Or
After this, we're getting tacos.
sad tacos.
Last meal tacos.